and welcome back to the Basement Gun Shop. So, I have been engaged in a project this whole week. One of the people who works at my local gun shop, a kid, literally, well, I should say a young man, wanted to have me Duracoat and Hydro Dip a Savage Mark II 22 rifle complete with rail, scope, and scope rings. This rifle was to be a present for his sister's 19th birthday. He wanted the barrel done in gold, and I kind of augmented that and said, well, since it's a fluted barrel, how about I mix some white in with the gold and do that in a kind of beige gold color, and we'll do the thread protector in the same color. You like that idea? So here's the barrel and the thread protector, all done in gold. It looks pretty sharp if you ask me. But the most interesting aspect of the gun is he wanted the stock hydro dipped. And as soon as I get done explaining this and I show off the finished product, I have 2 or 3 videos to incorporate in with this, which is me actually doing the process to turn the rifle stock from a flat black stock, which had a really nasty, kind of like someone tried to do a Krylon camo job on it, you know, Krylon spray paint. It was ugly as sin. You stripped most of that off, but take it from an ugly, aesthetically ugly stock to this. And that is a Cheetah Print. So I'm thinking, and I haven't even done this yet, so you're seeing it first. Wow! That's looking pretty neat. So we have this Cheetah Print stock with a gold barrel, some beige flutes, beige thread protector, the bolt. You set this where it won't get hurt because the Duracoat and the printing is still a little stiff, or still a little soft rather. I haven't clear coated them yet because I have a little touch up to do on the stock. The bolt handle is done in H&K black with some gold inlay, and then the indicator that the bolt is cocked is done in that same beige. The trigger group, the trigger's done in beige. It's a Savage Accu-Trigger. The trigger's done in beige, and the little split trigger is also done in H&K black. So, the magazine well and the magazine were also done in H&K black, as well as the magazine release. The scope was done in gold. And the scope rings were also hydro dipped in the Cheetah Print. And they came out looking pretty wicked, if I do say so myself. So this is by far the most interesting pattern I've done for Duracoating and hydrographic printing. So I think we can file this one under Best Brother Ever. Wow. Works part-time, 14 years old, and he's dropping all kinds of money to get this birthday present together for his sister's 19th birthday. That's wicked cool. How many 14-year-olds do you know? that would buy something like that. Well, he actually had his dad buy the gun because obviously he can't. But how many 14-year-olds do you know that would go through that? So for Jacob at my local gun shop, if you ever see this, dude, seriously, you should be proud of yourself. Excellent. Everybody down there speaks very highly of this young man, I should say. I met when he came down here to do the deal and discuss the colors and everything else and the patterns. His father came with him because obviously he couldn't transport the firearm by himself. He was only 14. His father and his older brother came with him, and I'm sure his father came down to make sure I wasn't going to take advantage of the boy in a business dealing. I mean, he's 14, I'm almost 50, and I wouldn't do that, but I don't blame the man for wanting to look after his son's interest. Wow. I have to commend his father as well. Family values like that you get directly from your parents, because you sure as hell don't learn them from Common Core. So I'll be back. I'm just going to throw a couple quick videos up, dipping the rings so you can see how that's done, dipping the stock. I did the stock in halves, so I had to seam it. I did the left half, then I did the right half. So I had to seam it down the bottom, but that's no big deal either. It's not hard to do when you're dipping something. So I'm going to put those videos up so you can watch the dip process, and I'll be back.
The hydrographic printing process is actually rather simple. You need 70 to 80 degree water, and obviously a tub to contain it. I use a couple different tubs, Tupperware, ranging from the shoebox size you see here that I used for the rings, all the way up to the monster tub that it's sitting on. Once you have the tub where you need it, you just lay the film out on the water. When you're laying the film out on the water, it is very important to make sure that none of the corners break the surface tension and the film start to sink. You also want to have all the air bubbles you possibly can out from underneath the film. This is a polyvinyl alcohol-based film, and it absorbs water. So what happens is, as it's sitting there for 1 minute, and that's about the time you give it, 1 minute, it's absorbing the water, and the film that the ink is actually printed on is breaking down. And once you spray it with the activator, it forms the consistency of about a gel, like a hand sanitizer or something to that effect. You can see that basically just to the left of the center of the tub, that kind of like bound up spot there, that's an air bubble. But because of the size and the way I was dipping the scope rings, I wasn't too worried about it. So after that 1 minute expires, you spray it evenly with the activator. The activator chemical finishes the liquefaction of the ink and the film. You let it sit for about 15 seconds, and there you can see the air bubble really popping up. But you let it sit for about 15-16 seconds, and then you need to dip the part. And what I'm doing here is called roll dipping, where you start the part about halfway in, and then you roll it into the film, nice and even, take it below the surface of the water, and there it is. And that is how ridiculously simple this process actually is. As you can see, I already have the film laid out on the tub. This film was cut 31 inches by 17 inches. I did not make relief cuts in the film because I did not want the pattern to expand. When you spray this film with the activator after it's set on the water and absorbed the water for a minute, and you spray it with the activator, it actually starts to expand. That leads to the pattern stretching on the part when you dip it. Now, even with no relief cuts in the tape and the pattern not expanding, it still stretches, but not as bad, so you get more of a clear print. The only problem is once the part's dipped, you have to contend with a solid ring of masking tape, and that's what that white border is. One of the things that you have to contend with also when you're doing this at home, if you look in the top right hand corner, I don't know if you saw it before, all the fumes from the activator kind of occluded the view. Sometimes the film will start to break down even as you set it on the water. That's because you got some moisture on it from a fingerprint or something to that effect. The activator fumes are pretty bad, and I actually should have been wearing my respirator, but I was so intent on getting this done I wasn't thinking. So I'm doing this stock in halves and make a quick decision there to do it this way, diagonally rather than straight down the film. So nice slow dip, and that's all it takes. Very even pressure. You can actually feel the gel that the film dissolves into adding to the surface tension of the water and resisting you from pushing the stock through it. And once you're through, you just swirl it around to break up the film. I can hold it there and use my other hand to just, sweep the unused film out of the way. Make sure the tape's not in the way, pull the stock out, drain the water, and there it is. Beautiful, almost 3D cheetah print pattern on a rifle stock.
There it is. That's the whole process, pretty much start to finish. Hydrographic printing. Now, in point of fact, there are much better videos available on YouTube about the whole hydrographic printing process than I can provide you. HG Arts. They are a print shop out of the UK and a film supplier out of the UK. They have some fantastic videos. MyDipKit.com, DipWizard.com. They all have videos available on YouTube that are a bunch better than what I did. Simply because even though I am a small one-man shop, and I do this in my basement, obviously, hence the name, Basement Gun Shop, and I don't have this big, I don't have the room for this big, huge professional dip tank like you'll see in the HG Arts YouTube videos or some of the other places that are putting the dip videos out there. Unfortunately, I don't have room for it, otherwise I would buy one. I'm restricted on the length of parts I can dip. Obviously, you saw with the big tub, 31 inches. That's the largest tub I have, and so that restricts me to about a 28-inch part that I can dip. But it's just an amazing process. If you watch some of the HG Arts videos, I highly recommend them. They are the best quality hydro dipping videos out there. I first did the whole hydro dipping thing. I started it last year around October for Don's youngest son. You know what? I'm gonna go get his skulls rifle and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm sure you see the addition of the extra light. This is the rifle that I did for Don's youngest son, Jaden. It's a Savage Rascal, little youth model 22, little peep sights, pre-drilled for a rail and a scope if you want to mount something like that. But I wanted to give the boy something special for Christmas. He's 8 years old, and he has a thing for skulls. 8 years old, go figure. So, I believe I ordered it from mydipkit.com. I think it cost me $65 for the entry-level kit. It came with the base coat, the film, and the clear coat to put over top of it. And as you can see, let's get this right up here for the camera. Here's part of a skull head, and unfortunately the skull pattern was larger than the rifle stock, so the skulls didn't represent well, but he saw the skull on it and he was wicked happy with it, so it made it a really special Christmas day for an 8-year-old. This started life as a blue stock, almost sky blue. And here's the underside. Let's get that back in the light. There we go. Here's the other side of the stock. Sorry for the lighting. And you can see how that represents, or how it looks. Yeah, when he opened this Christmas morning, wow. That was a day I'll remember. This is what started me down the hydro dipping road as a service or a product to offer to potential customers. I did a tiger stripe, tactical tiger stripe AR. I did the upper and lower receiver, the free float forend, an EOTech hood, and a sight mark magnifier. I don't like dipping optics. The chemicals are pretty wicked, and if you get them on the glass, there's no telling what the chemicals are going to do to the coating on the optics. But I was absolutely scared out of my wits dipping this stock because it had to be perfect, you know, for this 8-year-old for Christmas Day. And first try, right out of the gate, came out almost perfect. I was not wicked happy with the clear coat, but the kit included from mydipkit.com, the kit included an aerosol can of primer, base coat. Obviously this is like neon green, and an aerosol can of clear coat plus the film. And the process is ridiculously simple. You spray the primer, let it dry for a while, you spray the base coat, you let it dry overnight, you cut the film, make the relief cuts, put it on a tub, and that's the result. And it's so cool. You can get, if any of you have gone to your local gun shop and seen a rifle dipped in Muddy Girl camo, that's how it's done. So there are larger shops that do it. You've seen how I do it. I have Tupperware containers ranging in size from 31 inches long down to a shoebox. And really that's all it takes. It's ridiculously simple. I almost feel guilty about charging people to do this stuff. I really do. I'm sure some other gunsmiths are going to be, or dip shops are going to be angry with me for saying that, but it's ridiculously simple. Go watch the HG Arch videos on YouTube. They're fantastic videos. I said that before. And you can see how simple it is. Maybe you do it at home, maybe you want me to do it, maybe you want a professional shop to do it. But I mean, you can really deck out just about anything. I will tell you, wood doesn't work. You can't hydro dip wood. Sorry. So if you got a wood stock on a rifle, you're just out of luck. But that's a limitation of the process. So I have 3 or 4 film suppliers. I have roughly 1,400 different patterns available, from real tree and mossy oak camos, the real looking 3D stuff, to tactical tiger stripe, to Vietnam tiger stripe, to digital patterns, digital camo patterns, to Hello Kitty, to hearts and flowers. Guys and girls, there are amazing amounts of patterns out there available for this stuff. So if you've ever thought of dressing up a firearm, I would absolutely recommend it. What I do with my process is, you guys all know, I do Duracoating. I pretty much demand Duracoat as the undercoat for a number of reasons, because they have so many different colors. The finish itself is just so amazingly durable. And then of course they make clear coats in high gloss, semi-gloss, and matte clear. In fact, here's some Duracoat matte clear right here that I'll be using on the Cheetah Print stock later, after I do the touch-up on the dip on the right hand side. And there is some touch-up involved, and the touch-up's not hard. It is simply get a scrap piece of film, tape it out to something flat, excuse me, with a little bit of activator on a paintbrush. And you find the color on the film you need to touch up, swirl the paintbrush around, make like a puddle, get it nice and thick, dab it on there, you know, in the spot that needs to be touched up. Wait a couple seconds, rinse it, and let it dry. And that's the touch up. So it's not hard to touch it up. And honestly, as the person who did it, I know where it's been touched up. So it just pops right out and stands right out to me. But when I deliver a completed project to a customer or a person that I'm doing it for, they look at it and just go, and they don't see where it's been touched up. Now, granted, yes, if you get right down on it and look at it, you can see where it's been touched up, or where the pattern's broken, or something to that effect. You can see that, but by and large, from a distance, from more than 3 feet away, 2 feet away, you're not going to see it. And it's technology. You gotta love it. I mean, here's this film, and you put it on the water, and you go like this, and you got skulls on an 8-year-old savage rascal. It's awesome. It really is. So, thanks for watching the Basement Gun Shop. I truly appreciate it. If you have questions about the process, if you have questions or comments about who to order from or something to that effect, I will be more than happy to answer those questions and point you in the right direction if you want to start doing this stuff for yourself, because it's a really cool sense of achievement when you can do something like this, or Money Girl camo dip a rifle for your little girl. So until next time, if you have any comments, as always, I encourage you, right below, right down there in the comments section. I will get back to you. And until next time, stay safe.